So magandang araw my dear students. So today we are going to discuss what are the basic concepts of genetics. Kung kayo ay nasa grade 8, isa ito sa mga essential topics na ituturo sa inyo ng inyong guro ngayong taon. Kung kayo naman ay nasa senior high o kaya college student na kayo na nanonood ng aking video ngayon, siguro quick review na lang ito ng mga napag-aralan nyo nung previous school years nyo. Okay. So the subject code is STEM 121 and the subject title is General Biology 2, and the first topic for this semester is genetics. Okay, under genetics we have Mendelian genetics, non-Mendelian genetics, okay, sex-linked inheritance, and ayan, how to solve genetic problems, or rather monohybrid and dihybrid problems. Okay, so let's proceed. So simulan natin ang ating kwento sa isang lugar sa Europa na kung tawagin ay Austria. Okay, Austria is a country located in the Central Europe. The neighboring countries are Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Germany, ano pa ba? Italy, ayan. So just to mention a few of its neighboring countries. So why I am talking about Austria? Okay, kasi dito isinilang yung ibibida nating scientist, which is Gregor Mendel. Okay. So Gregor Mendel is born in Vienna, Austria, particularly in the town of Brunn. Okay. So ayan. So, alam ko familiar naman na kayo kay Gregor Mendel. Pero, kailangan natin siyang ipakilala. Okay? So, si Gregor Mendel ay lumaki sa isang pamilyang nagsasaka at nag-aalaga ng mga hayop ang kabuhayan ng family nila. So, sa murang edad ay hasa at marunong nang magtanim at mag-alaga ng hayop si Mendel. At yung pagiging plantito at fur parent ni Gregor Mendel at a very young age, ito yung nakatulong sa kanya para ma-develop yung skills niya at eventually gamitin yung skills na yun sa future researches niya. Okay? Ayan. So, he was born in 1822 and during his secondary school year, he graduated in Tropo 1840, batch 1840. Okay, and he graduated with high honors. However, ayan, it comes with a cost. Okay, medyo naging financially constrained yung family ni Gregor Mendel. So, as a result, grabe yung burden dun sa parents ni Gregor Mendel. But still, iginapang yung pag-aaral ni Gregor. Okay? Then, the family decided to send Gregor Mendel to a prestigious university, okay, in Austria. Okay, so yung pinag-aralan ni Gregor Mendel ay hindi biology, but rather he majored in philosophy and take up some courses in mathematics or subjects in mathematics. Okay. Then in 1843, nagkaroon ng sakit si Gregor Mendel, and this triggers him to think about life, to ponder about his discernment, his calling. So he decided to become a priest. So he entered priesthood. Okay, and in 1856, he became the abbey, or rather the abbot of the monastery in Brunn. Okay, so before he became the abbot, so he asked his superiors if he could use the land in front of the monastery to become the site of his experiments. Okay, so he asked his superiors. So sabi niya, bro, pwede bang itong lupa dito sa harap ay akin na lang muna, gagamitin ko sa experiment ko? And luckily, his superiors approved of his ideas. And aside from that, Gregor Mendel also uses uh, the back of the monastery for his beekeeping. Okay, so dalawa yung ginagawa dito ni Gregor Mendel. So he is tending the garden and he is also beekeeping simultaneously. Okay. So what are the characteristics of the experiment? Okay? Or rather, ano kaya yung mga ginawa ni Gregor Mendel dun sa experiments niya? So, sa lahat ng plants, ang pinili ni Gregor Mendel ay Pisum sativum or English peas. Okay? The reason is madaling i-breed yung English peas. And aside from that, madaling maobserbahan yung differences ng traits ng Pisum sativum. Okay, as you can see here, there are 7 characteristics of garden peas that Gregor Mendel studied. So we have seed shape, seed color, pod shape, flower color, plant size, position of the flower. And these are all empirical. Ibig sabihin, madali natin siyang i-distinguish using our senses. Okay? We can easily distinguish which is round from wrinkle, which is yellow from green, which is inflated from constricted, so on and so forth. Okay? So, now, dito na papasok yung hilig ni Gregor Mendel sa mathematics because Gregor Mendel is talented in math. Okay? He likes to count and he is obsessed with numbers. So, imagine the patience in counting the seeds. Okay? So, buti kung yung binibilang niya ay 30 seeds or 100 seeds lang, pero yung binilang niya is more than 10,000 seeds of English peas. Okay, so imagine the patience to count those seeds and note the differences of traits of those seeds. O ngayon, seeds pa lang yun. So we have to account also the pod shape, the pod color, the flower location, plant size. Okay, so napaka-tedious pero nagawa ng paraan ni Gregor Mendel. Okay, and he observed ratios. Okay, sa pagbibilang niya ng mga traits na to, okay, nakita niya na merong ratio yung differences ng mga traits na to. So later, we will discuss it in the succeeding slide. Okay, so his experiments on the Pisum sativum led him to write 4 postulates that we are still observing right now. Okay, so this is the reason why we are still studying Gregor Mendel because his experiments lead to the formulation of the 4 postulates we followed in Mendelian genetics. Okay, so what are these 4 postulates? So first, we have the paired unit factors of inheritance. Okay, sabi daw ni Gregor Mendel, meron daw alleles na tinatawag. Okay, yung alleles ay paired factors ito. Okay, one will come from the father and one will come from the mother. So both of the parental side contributes to the genetic makeup of an organism. Okay? So, paired factors ito. So, doon sa paired factors na yon, meron tayong dominant and recessive. Okay? Yun yung pangalawang postulate ni Gregor Mendel. So, merong dominant, merong recessive. At yung pangatlo naman, during gamete formation, okay, alleles segregate. Okay? Medyo vague pa yung pangatlo, di ba? Pero later, malalaman natin. And yung pang-apat, i-reserve natin sa mga na slides. So, okay. So, consider this. So, suppose we have a situation here. Okay, so we have a family as an example. So, let's label them the family of P's, right? So we have the father and the mother. So the father P is green in color, while the mother P is yellow in color. So as you can see here in the picture, the father is quite alarmed because his offspring are all yellow. Maybe he is thinking that, hey, this is not my child. Okay, now let's see kung yun talaga yung situation, kung hindi niya ba talaga offspring yung mga uh, seeds na to. Okay, so 'di ba meron tayong tinatawag na alleles. So alleles are unit factors or paired factors of inheritance. So ngayon, itong alleles na to, madali natin siyang maintindihan kapag tinitingnan natin yung genotype ng isang organism. So, saan yung genotype dito? Ito yung genotype na tinatawag natin. Itong pairs ng letters na to. These letters, each unit or each letter represents the unit of the allele. Okay? Okay. So, kapag capital letter ang nakasulat, ibig sabihin yan yung dominant allele, at kapag small letter naman, ito yung recessive allele. So, ano nga, balikan natin. Kapag dominant allele, siya yung na-express. Okay? Siya yung nakakapag-overpower dun sa recessive. Okay? So, suppose, pagpaparesin natin yung dominant at yung recessive. Okay. Sa tingin nyo, alin kaya yung trait na may express? Is it the dominant or the recessive? Okay. So maybe you are thinking parang Dora yung style ni Sir, no? So tama. Okay, yung may express ay ang yellow. Okay. So in this case, the dominant will be expressed. Talo yung recessive. Okay. The recessive will always give a leeway or bibigay niya lagi yung pagkakataon kay dominant kapag pinag-uusapan natin ay Mendelian genetics. So, okay, as a result, all of the offspring here are all colored yellow or yellow in color, rather. Okay? So, ayan. Okay. So before we discuss this slide, I forgot to mention some keywords in the previous slide. Okay. So before we discuss this, we need to unlock some terms. So which is homozygous and heterozygous. Okay. So ano ba yung homozygous? Ano yung heterozygous? So para madali nating matandaan kung alin yung homo and alin yung hetero. So sa homozygous, ang titingnan lang natin ay yung capitalization ng letters. Okay? Kapag parehas yung capitalization. Okay, so halimbawa, kapag parehas big letter Y, this is read as homozygous dominant. Okay? Kapag parehas nung alleles ay dominant, homozygous dominant ang tawag doon. Kapag parehas naman, small letter, ang genotype, ayan, ang basa naman sa kanya ay homozygous recessive. Okay? So, yun, malinaw. Ngayon, ito naman, combination ng dominant allele and ng recessive allele, ang tawag sa kanya ay heterozygous. Okay, so wag malilito. Now, homozygous and heterozygous. Yung homozygous, they are also referred as purebred, while heterozygous, they are also referred as hybrid. Okay? So, ngayon, explain na natin kung ano yung nandito sa slide na to. So, we have here another set of P couple. So, both of them are yellow and both of them are heterozygous. So, ngayon, ayan, they decided to have a family. And we observe here, dito sa offspring nila, na 3 out of 4 are yellow in color, while 1 is, is the odd among the siblings. Hindi siya yellow, instead, siya lang yung green. Okay, so bakit kaya? Bakit kaya nangyari yon? Ano? So, ang recessive allele, hindi siya totally nawawala. Okay po. There will come a time na ma-express yung recessive allele. Okay, ma-express ang recessive allele or recessive trait kapag yung nakapartner niyang allele is also a recessive. Okay? Kaya, green ang color nitong P na to is because the genotype of this P is homozygous recessive. Okay, so homozygous recessive. So pardon for the illustration. These are both small letter Y. So yung genotype naman ng mga yellow peas dito ay heterozygous. So dalawang heterozygous at isang homozygous. Ayan. So, ito yung mga genotypes. So, later, ipapaliwanag ko kapag pinag-uusapan na natin ang monohybrid cross kung bakit ganito yung genotypes. Okay. So, meron tayong dalawang hetero, meron tayong isang homozygous recessive at isang homozygous dominant. Okay. So, as you can see here, we are already touching the concepts about ratio. If we are going to apply the ratio here, okay, for the genotype, we have 1:2:1 ratio. So we have 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive, as you can see here. So, erase natin muna before tayo mag-proceed sa next slide. Okay. Ayan. So, sa phenotypic ratio naman, ang phenotypic ratio nito ay 3:1. Meron tayong 3 yellow at iisang green. Okay? So, before tayo mag-proceed sa sunod na principle, tandaan natin na yung dominant, siya yung laging na-expressed. Okay, so the concept of dominance and recessiveness. Now let's talk about law of segregation. So in law of segregation, we have to consider gamete formation. So ano ba yung gamete formation na tinatawag natin? So gametes are sex cells. So sige, explain pa natin further. So in humans, so the sex cell of a male is the sperm. For the female, we have a human female, we have the ovum or the egg cell. Okay? So ngayon, kapag binubuo yung mga sperm at yung mga egg, it undergoes meiosis. Right? You still remember meiosis? We've talked about this in the previous semester. Okay? So ngayon, nag-undergo ng meiosis, di ba? And explain natin na sa meiosis, doon nangyayari yung distribution ng genetic material from a diploid cell containing 46 chromosomes. Okay? I-distribute na lang, magiging half na lang yung genetic material sa sperm and sa egg. So, the gametes now only contain 23 chromosomes. Okay? So, para kapag nag-meet yung egg and sperm at ma-fertilize ni sperm sa egg, so yung offspring, magkakaroon siya ng 46 chromosomes. Okay, so each of the parent will contribute now to the genetic makeup of the child. Okay? So wag malilito, yung pinag-usapan nating example dito ay yung sa tao, hindi yung sa peas muna. So, ayan. So ngayon, habang ginagawa yung mga yung mga sex cells na to, okay, nagkakaroon ng segregation. Okay, so as you can see here, halimbawa, ayan, the parent cell is diploid dun sa una, di ba? Meron siyang kumpleto, meron siyang kapares. Ngayon, nagkaroon tayo ng meiosis wherein na-distribute yung genetic material na to into across the divided cells. Okay, the gametes. So ngayon, pag-ihiwalayin natin to, i-segregate natin to at i-distribute natin to dun sa sex cells. Okay, so this is the 2n number, the diploid number. Tapos, yung mga gametes, meron lang siyang haploid number. Okay, so I hope you still remember the terminologies that we've discussed in the previous semester. Okay, so wag munang kalimutan yung mga discussions na yun kasi importante yun. So, sige. So, that is law of segregation. Then we have the law of independent assortment. It states that genes for different traits are inherited independently of each other. Okay, so sa law of independent assortment, this is the fourth postulate. Okay, sabi daw, yung mga genes ng iba't ibang traits, they are independent from each other. Okay, so hindi po pwede na yung isang gene ay nakalink dun sa other. So halimbawa, hindi pwede na yellow yung kulay given na agad na magiging round yung kanyang seed shape. Okay, magkahiwalay yung or independent sila sa isa't isa. Okay, so they are assorted independently. Okay, so remember the shuffling of genetic material during meiosis. So this is how it affects the gene expression. Okay, so the distribution across the possible offspring here. Ayan, so dito meron tayong example. So we have the pod color and the pod shape. So we have inflated and constricted and yellow and green color of pods. So dito sa example natin, we can clearly see na hindi ibig sabihin na yellow yung pod color, inflated na kaagad yung counterpart na trait niya. Okay? So pwede siyang maging constricted, pwede siyang maging inflated. At the same time, ganun din naman sa constricted na pod, 'di ba? Yung constricted na pod, pwedeng ang kulay niya ay maging yellow or pwedeng maging green. Okay? They are assorted independently. Hindi sila talaga linked. Hindi po pwede na automatic agad na kapag inflated yung pod, magiging kulay yellow kaagad siya, or kapag constricted, magiging green yung kulay ng pod. Okay, so I hope that you are you get the concept in there. So don't worry, you will learn a lot of things sa susunod pa nating lecture. Kung hindi ko siya naibaba or naipasimple dito sa lecture na to, and the succeeding recorded lecture videos, you will know further, because the next recorded lecture video is about the monohybrid and dihybrid cross, solving problems in monohybrid and dihybrid cross. So this involves now problem solving skills, and you'll get to apply the 4 postulates. So quick review lang before tayo matapos ng recorded lecture video. So we have the 4 postulates. First postulate, we have the alleles as the unit factors of inheritance. They are paired. So these alleles are from the parents. The paternal and the maternal side contributed to this pairs. Then We have the principle of dominance and recessiveness. The dominant one is always expressed whenever the dominant and recessive are paired. Okay, some key important terminologies during our discussion. We have genotype, phenotype, homozygous, heterozygous. So wag kakalimutan yung mga terminologies na yon. Then the third postulate is the law of segregation, and the fourth postulate is the law of independent assortment. Okay, so that ends our recorded lecture video for today. So sa susunod naman, so I'll be uploading my next lecture video probably on Wednesday. So abang-abang na lang kayo. So thank you for listening and goodbye.